Alright, Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory and fear to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well and lead our nation. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers that's out there striving for salvation, and the few sisters that's tuning in. So I want to start off with one of my favorite scriptures, man. If you watch my videos, you pretty much know what scripture I start off with always. Majority of the times I open up camp or go into the scriptures. So this is Romans 13 and 11, and it says, "And that knowing the time, that now is the time, not that now is high time to wake up out of sleep, for now is salvation nearer than when we believe." Because that's the time frame we're in. And the reason why this scripture is always being brought out by so many different brothers is because the time we're in, we're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble. And then ultimately we come into the time where the Most High is going to judge this. He's going to judge the wicked. He's going to judge those that are in power, which is the so-called white man. Primarily starting with America, and then all you elites that's spread out ruling all across the earth. All you Edomites that are in power. He's about to bring swift judgment, to your doorstep. And then also, we're at the time of the salvation. Salvation for who? The elect of Israel. So these are all things that point to by way of prophecy to show us what time we're in. All the prophecies are happening more and more to let you know that it's high time to wake out of sleep because our salvation is right here upon us. The next scripture I want to get into, it goes into that same goes with the same thing that was spoken in Romans. It's kind of windy out here. It's blowing the pages further than what I need. Anyway, so this is Ephesians 5 and 14. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake, thou that sleepest." Another wake, thou that sleepest. And when it says, the scripture says in Romans 13:11, it says, wake up those that are asleep. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read that again because they go hand in hand. Because I want to break down who that is actually talking to. Now it says, Romans 13 and 11, it says, "And now, knowing that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe." Our salvation. Key word. Ephesians 5 and 14. "Wherefore he said, Awake thou that sleepest, arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light." That's talking to the hopeful elect. That's who that's talking to. Those two scriptures is talking about wake up, telling you to wake up and realize what time you're in. This is Paul talking to the elect, the hopeful elect, because those are the ones that's going to hear and awake. 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to remain asleep. Matter of fact, I'll go to that next. Let me finish off this Ephesians. Ephesians 5 and 14 says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." Because that goes hand in hand. During the time of salvation coming, you're going to have the time of Jacob's trouble. You're going to have evil days that are ahead. It's going to have very serious tests that's going to be put on brothers, that you got to stay strong during the times of those tests. So let's deal with the 2/3 and how they're not going to wake out of sleep. And now the scripture wasn't talking to them. This is Ephesians 5, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, hold on a second. Yeah, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "But of the times and of the seasons, brethren," that's how you know he's talking to the brothers. He's talking to those that are in the faith, that's in the truth. It says, "You have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh so as a thief in the night." And we know that. See, none of us are given the hour, the time, the exact time But we know the time frame. We understand that this is he could come at the top of the hour or the last minute of the hour, but we know that we're upon that hour because why? We're in that time frame because all the prophecies are coming together, and it's showing us that these things will be happening. The time you're in. It says, "For yourselves know it perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travaileth upon a woman with child." So a woman with child is those birth pains come upon her. She's in travail. She's in pain, and that's how she knows that she's about to deliver this child, because those pains intensify and intensify. Same thing with the prophecies happening. Then the danger and the trouble is going to come, and those going to be those are like those birth pains that's coming. That comes right before deliverance, and after deliverance, she's not in travail no more. She's not in pain anymore because she delivered the child. So we, as the hopeful elect, is going to have to go through these trials and these trials and this tribulation, the trouble, and all these tests until the deliverance come. After deliverance, there's no more pain. There's no more travail. So, matter of fact, it's going to say, it says, as a travaileth upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? Not escape what? She can't escape those birth pains, and we can't escape those trials, those tribulation that's gonna come. All that the test that you go through, you can't escape it. You're gonna have to deal with it. Just like Yahushua had to deal with what he went through when he came on the earth. There was no other way. He couldn't escape it. He knew that. Verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Right. So the men that are Most High have been preparing by giving you this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and letting you know what the scriptures say. That's a house of a man that's being prepared and know that a thief is coming, so that he won't be overthrown when the thief come on. The thief come into his house, he won't be overthrown. He could have prepared himself for that thief. But 2/3 of the nation of Israel, your houses are going to be overthrown. Meaning you're not going to know that the thief is on his way. You have no idea what that thief's going to do to you. And the thief represents Yahushua's coming back. It actually represents the time of Jacob's trouble. All the stuff that we're going to go through. The famine represents the sword. It represents all the different things that's leading up to the day of the Lord's wrath, and then ultimately Yahushua coming. When he comes, none of the 2/3 is even knowing that this is coming. None of the 2/3 are even prepared. They don't even know. This is far from their mind. They have no idea. They're in sleep. They're in darkness. Verse 5. It says, "Ye are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness." See, the children of the day and children of the light. Light represents you can see. Day represents you're awake. You're up. Night represents darkness. Night represents your sleep. And darkness represents you can't see. You walk into a room, what's the first thing you need to turn on? Is a light, because you can't see in that darkness. So light represents you, the brothers that are awake, and the Most High have waken up brothers and put them where they can see. You will see what? See the prophecies happening. See everything that the scriptures say is going to take place, and know and prepare yourself. Those that are in darkness, they can't see. Those are people who read the scriptures and don't have understanding. They don't know what the scriptures is talking about. They can't interpret the scriptures properly in the spirit and in truth, because they weren't giving the light. The light ultimately representing Yahushua. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. They're given to darkness, which is the lies, the deceit, the deception from the so-called white man. And also what? When they go into these churches and they're being told these lies, not having the true breakdown, these different doctrines out there, and the philosophies that the so-called white man pour upon the people. Verse 6, it says, "Therefore let us not sleep as others do, as do others like you." And those are the 2/3, and the rest of you, I don't even count the other nations, because this ain't even for you. You born, live, and you're born, live, and die in darkness. You other nations, it ain't nothing to do with you. You're just there. You're just involved. But you don't even count, man. The so-called white man, same thing with you. But you do know. You know the truth. That's why you push forth the lies. But ultimately, it's talking about 2/3. Those are the others that are asleep. But let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night. And they that be drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith, and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. And that's what the scripture is talking about in Romans 13 and 11, right? It said our salvation is here more than we believe. Same thing in Ephesians. So what is some of the things? Let's get into that of what we need to be in the light for and what the people who are in the darkness is about. So this is and really truly you don't have you don't even have an excuse. The point is, matter of fact, I'm gonna read the reason why you're in darkness. Because brothers are out there bringing forth the truth. The truth been out there on the highways and hedges for years, for decades. It's been there. It's been readily available. Come on, man. Satan, man, just pushing that wind, pushing them pages. That's all right. We're gonna get it. Get it. No matter how much you try to interrupt. All right. There's a purpose of why you're in darkness. It's a purpose. Those who don't understand, don't know what's going on. Even those, especially who think they know, it's some of the supposed to be of the circumcision. Some that's of Israel that know you're Israelites. There's part of these different camps out there, still in darkness. This is Isaiah 6 and 9. It says, and he said, go and let us. And go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive it not. Make the hearts of this people fat, and make the ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered until the cities be wasted without inhabitants, and the houses without men, and the land be utterly desolate. And that's how long you're going to be asleep. Those who are the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you're going to be asleep. You're going to be on your bed, sleep, and drunken until these missiles come. That's when you're going to wake up and understand that death is there for you. It's going to meet you front and center, and you ain't going to be able to escape it. That's when you're going to know that a prophet has been among you with the things that you've been seeing brothers out there teaching us and videos out there being presented to you on the daily that you had a chance to hearken to, but you didn't. That's when you're going to know with everything that was said is true. Why? Because it's right there in front of you. But until then, you're going to be snoring, sleeping, and drunken in the night. That's what you're going to be doing until this place get destroyed. This is Isaiah 13, and I'm going to start from the top. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. Babylon representing Babylon that Isaiah was in, then also Babylon here in America. This scripture right here is going to apply to America, right? That's what it's going to apply to, because America is the modern day Babylon. It's confusion. The word Babylon means confusion, right? People are in a confused state here in America. You know, people don't understand what's going on. Their government is controlling them with MK Ultra, mind control, and media control, and what they put on the idiot box. You know, the terrible tube. You know, you turn on your TVs and they put out there and they program you. That's why it's called television programming. Telling lies to your vision and programming you when you watch that. And so that's exactly how they're controlling you. And that's what Slack to the point, that's how another main way how they confusing you. It says, lift up a banner upon the high mountains, exalt the voice unto them, shake their hands, and they may go into the gates, that they may go into the gates of the noble. So the banner is representing the scriptures, the sword. This is the banner. This is the banner that the scriptures say. The scriptures say to lift up this banner. So we go out and we teach. We've been lifting up the banner, starting with the apostles and elders, and the actual starting with the high priests and elders and apostles that came before our apostles that started waving that banner. And that banner got passed on to our elders, and they passed it on to us, and we're passing it on to whoever the Most High wakes up to this point. And that's the banner. The high mountain represents your exalted governments. Wherever, no matter where you're at, whether you're under a government that controls America, whether you're a government that controls Europe, whether you're under a government that controls South and Central America, wherever you're in the four corners of the earth that you're ruled under, or that you're ruled by, and you're set up under, that is the exalted mountain. That is the high mountain, the government, the powerful government that the scriptures is talking about. But mainly we dealing with America here, because America's Babylon. So America's that high mountain. It says, I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. Now that's talking about the Most High's angels, and it's two-part angels. You have angels that are you have celestial angels, and then you have terrestrial angels, right? So you have men, because angel means messenger, right? So us brothers out here, we're a form of the Most High's angels, and then the Most High has his angelical angels that you can't see, and then he has his angels that you will see. You're gonna see when they crack them skies with Yahweh Shai, and that's the Lord of hosts. The Most High sends Yahweh Shai with his Lord of hosts, which is his army. And we're hoping, the angels that are here on the earth, hoping to join into that army, meaning the Most High deliver us up, change our bodies into extraterrestrials, and we have and given us spiritual power to join him in his army to battle, to come against the so-called white man. That's eventually how that's going to play out. And we just hope and pray that, Lord willing, Yahweh Shem Shai has his mercy upon us and allow us to be not just the hopeful elect, but the actual elect. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdom of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered up the host to the battle. So the Most High, like I said, the Lord of hosts is going to be Yahweh Shai's whole army. The scriptures talk about that in Matthew 25 and 31. It tells you he come in his glory. His come in his glory is what? Him, along with his angels and his men that he has, it's going to be a raid, it's going to be in battle position. A whole full force of an army. That's his glory. And he's mustered up the host of the battle, because all these other nations, that high mountains, them governments, they going to come against them. You go into 2nd Ezra 13th chapter, gives you that whole account. If it be the Lord's will, I'll get to it, but I have a certain scriptures that I want to stick to regarding this today's lesson today. It says, verse 5, they come from a far country, from the ends of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. And a part of that is going to be the nuclear missiles. That's part of Yahweh Shai, the Lord of hosts' army. Because those weapons of the Most High's indignation is what? The nuclear missiles. 200 million missiles being shot here on this land. This land is called America, or the United States, as others may know it. The land of confusion, the confused city. This is America. It's going to be shot. 200 million missiles going to be shot. And that's part of the Most High's indignation, his righteous anger. It says, how ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction for the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Meaning your mind. Your mind is going to be in a melting status. Meaning what? You're not going to be able to calculate everything fully that you're seeing. You're going to, and there's, you might look, people going to see Leviathan. Leviathan might be as big as a whole goddamn city. He might just be that big. You might be in New Jersey and see him as big as New York. You know, or you might be in San Francisco and then you look over and look south and see he as big as LA standing up in his fullness. That's just one part of the Most High's fury and his wrath that he's gonna unleash on people. It says, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And that's not even including the newly created creatures, the lions, bears, tigers, and wherever you see all the damn animals and beasts that you see that's being chained and locked up in zoos. There's no zookeeper, so they're going to get out. And they're going to roam the streets looking for meat. What meat they ain't going to look, they're going to be looking for meat, meaning men. They're going to be looking at people. That's why the scripture say man's heart's going to melt, because they're going to see, you're going to see a big ass bear running, and then the bear gets cut off by a lion because the lion's faster. Or maybe the bear's faster. I don't know. Bears out here, they run fast, man. 35, 40 miles an hour a bear can run. You know, that's not saying I've seen that and I know that's true, but that's what Esau tells you. But I want to bring out something too, because all this stuff that's going to be taking place, you're going to have men, you're going to have the Most High's men out there in the midst of it. See, this is not what people think. Like, you know, people, you know, you got you dumb Christians that believe in the rapture, and that you think that you're gonna be wrapped up in the sky as everybody going through all this, and then you're gonna be looking down and praising Jesus that he raptures you out of that melee, that you didn't take part in that judgment. No, that all that is gonna piss you off, because you know why? Because you're gonna be thinking, looking, hoping to be raptured. But the only thing that's gonna rapture you up is a bear or a lion or a tiger. Something while you sitting here asking Jesus why you ain't went up, something's gonna be bringing you down. That's something's gonna jump on you, pounce on you, and that's gonna be your fate, because you didn't know the truth of the scriptures. That's why the scriptures talk about what? You're in derision. The scripture gonna have you in delusion. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let me hold this. Let me pull that, because the lies that Esau taught you, the deceiver, is gonna deceive you to the fullest, and you ain't gonna understand why the hell you going through what you going through, because you ain't even prepared, because you thought that the lies that was told you was gonna come for you. But the only thing coming for you is death, man. All right, so this is 2 Thessalonians. Start at verse 9. Down. It says, even him who's coming is after the works of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness, in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So you didn't receive the love of the truth. You were blinded. You were of the dark. You're in darkness because you're of the night, and you're drunken off the philosophies and the lies that the so-called white man putting forth in front of you. And the scriptures say, blessed is he that reads. So if you read what the scriptures say, you can see that what is being pushed on you is not the truth, but you didn't. That's why I say, you know, curses he that put his trust in man. You've been listening to a man hit the podium every week selling you something sweet, and the scriptures tell you that. You know, speak on them smooth things. You want to hear that smooth things every Sunday when you go. Or now they got televised evangelism now. You know, since the coronavirus, people ain't being able to gather in the church house, so all they did was just put up a couple money, or which they already probably had it set up. They got channels and networks and YouTube. You go in and watch them teach you on YouTube, and then you electronically send your tithes in. Cash App your tithes in, Zelle your tithes in, PayPal your tithes, anything else, you know, or just mail in a check, money order, whatever you got. They gonna get their funds from you, and you're gonna get the lie spread to you. And that's what you do. You believe that you believe that lies that was pushed on you. I'm gonna read that part, verse 10 again. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, and the deceivable is what? From the deceived, which is the devil. Esau is the devil. The so-called white man, you're called the devil because the word devil means deceiver, and you've been thieving and deceiving from the beginning, man. You've always done that. You're doing it now on a higher level. So that's why people are being deceived by you. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. because they received not the love of the truth. How come you didn't receive the love of the truth? The love of the truth was on your street corners throughout all the major cities throughout the whole country, and then out to other countries. The love of the truth was there for you. You had men out there, it's still there for you. All you gotta do is log on YouTube. Love of the truth is right there for you. A couple clicks away. You ain't received that love of that truth. That they might be saved. You might have been saved if you would have hearkened to what the men were saying. Just read a few scriptures and know that you'll know where the truth will be found. The scriptures say, let's do a evaluation of that. The scriptures say that Yahweh said, go out on the highways and the hedges and bid them to the marriage, right? The scriptures tell you that the men will be out on the street. The highway and the hedges is out in the streets, not in a church house, right? The scriptures say that the way of truth, right? Truth shall be, matter of fact, just let me get it, because I'm holding a couple scriptures. I might as well just read it. Bear with me. Bear with me. Here we go. Oh. So we get in Proverbs. This is easy as ways how you find and identify where you should be hearing the truth. Where's the love of the truth? This is Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the streets. So do the church houses, do they got a like a big teleprompter outside the church with speakers, so if you're out in the street you can hear the truth? No, they don't. You got to go into their building and listen to what they saying. But if you walk up and down the main streets, the chief place of concourse, the marketplaces, and you seen brothers out there, they were teaching. That's where wisdom was crying out to you, but you would pass it up. So she cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. They hate the knowledge. This is why they walk past the knowledge. You continuously working past the knowledge. And then, further on in this evaluation of how you find the love of the truth, what does the scripture say about, temples made with hands? Let's get that right quick, and then we'll get back on track to be the Lord's will. This is Acts 7:48. Howbeit, the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as said the prophets. Okay, one down. And this is Acts 17:24. So the Most High that made the world and all the things therein, that He is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. So, if you want the love of the truth, you don't go into the temple that was made by a man's hands. Because the streets is you're out in the public, you're out, like right now, I'm out, there's nothing surrounding me. There's no building surrounding, I'm not inside, I'm outside. So therefore, I can speak and somebody across the street can hear me. Somebody down the street can hear me. Or if they don't hear me, they can see me and say, what that guy's doing? And roll up over there. And then listen and ask questions. I got a question. You can't do that to the man on the pulpit. I've never been inside of a church and had somebody raise hands, stand up, and shout or nothing while he was on the pulpit preaching, whoever that was. So you want the love of the truth. It's not in the temples made with hands. It's from the men that were out there that Most High sent on the highways and hedges to bring forth the truth to you. Getting back in Thessalonians. So back at Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians 2 in verse 11, it says, and for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie. Strong delusions. And I'll tell you, man, you deal with a church court, man. Them strong delusions are on top of them, around them, and behind them, and they can't get away from it. That's why the scriptures say conscience is seared with a hot iron. It's branded on them. You can't tell them nothing. You tell somebody, they believe in the virgin birth, and you get into the scriptures to show them what the scriptures say, it don't matter to me. I see what the scriptures say. I know. But all I know is Mary was a virgin. She did not have sex. You know, it don't matter what you do. You know, where do you go after death? You know, you go to heaven or hell. Or the scriptures talk about every man go to the spirit, go to the spiritual realm, spirit world. You know, and you come back reincarnated. Yeah, there ain't no such thing as that. Like you can't tell a church nigga nothing. Which that's why, because they're captivated by these strong delusions. I'm gonna read that again. And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusions. So let's do a recap. We read in Isaiah 6 and 9. It tells you that the Most High, they can see with their eyes, hear with their ears, and can be converted, but the Most High pretty much blocked them for their understanding, right? So not only the Most High block you from understanding, because you can hear it and see it, but you won't understand it. He then turns around and sends you strong delusions, lies and stuff that you will believe. Delusional that's creating falseness, a false sense of understanding. So you won't believe in the truth when it comes to you, because you're under them delusions that the Most High sent unto you. Most High ain't no joke, man. That's why, you know, I personally myself rejoice and not really, you know, I try not to beat down on somebody that's in the world, somebody that can't understand and get that, because at one point I couldn't. You know, I was in that same line they was in. Most High snatched me out that line, that broad way that everybody was going, and then introduced me to the straight gate and put me on the narrow path. So I know that I was once in that position, man. So if I deal with somebody, like the scriptures say, you know, you correct someone in meekness, knowing that you basically, roughly paraphrase, but you were in that same circumstance and can't go back to that circumstance. Most I can straight snatch the spirit from you. You know, straight snatch all understanding, snatch his name out of you. He can do that to you. So it's very humbling, you know, situation. You got to be meek and humble, man, lowly. Verse 12, it says that they all might be damned who believe it not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. That's 2/3 of our people. You're damned because you could have got the truth, but you didn't. You don't believe the love of the truth when it passes. When you pass right in front of it. It's right there. It was right there. It's still available for you. The Most High still have the gates of mercy open, because he's still sealing the elect. Most of the elect, I believe, is truly sealed. There's a few numbers that they ain't gonna be left behind. They gotta get, you know, the Most High gotta get them. Every single one is part of the 144,000 and the 1/3 has to be sealed, brought forth. Verse 13. But we are bound to give thanks always to the Most High for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because the Most High had from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief of the truth. Man, whoo! That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's why the scriptures say it's high time to wake out of sleep, because our salvation is near more than we believe. Man, so let's jump back in Isaiah